People are understanding something, are bringing peace in their lives. And you can be a part of the magic regardless of where you are.
Hi, in this year 2013, we are celebrating 10 years of Words of Peace, a TV program that's aired by local TV channels all around Brazil, and it's a special moment, a special date. That's why we are receiving Mr. Prem Hawat. As you know, he heads the Prem Hawat Foundation, and he's one of the most important world leaders talking about the peace process. And just to you understand the way he works about peace, in an average year, he will attend to up to 100 international speaking engagements. And for an instance, he travels 5 times around the world in a single year, addressing hundreds of thousands of people in this peace program. So we are very honored in talking to you in this moment.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And I am very honored too to be participating in the 10th anniversary of this beautiful thing, which is people accepting the message of peace in their hearts, in their understanding. So I'm very honored. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Prem Howard, you have dedicated your life to reaching out people across the globe about peace. Why is peace so important to you?
Peace is not only important to me, but really, peace is important to everyone on the face of this earth. Peace is not about some concept or some idea of what it's going to be manifesting like on the outside, but peace is a fundamental need for every single human being. Peace is a fundamental right of every single human being. And to be in that peace, feeling that peace, not from the outside in, but inside out, from the heart, not from definitions, not from concepts, not from ideas, but truly feeling it that way as it exists in the heart of every single human being on the face of this earth.
Mr. Prem, there are many different definitions of peace in the world. How does your perspective of peace compare or differ to others?
Well, there are many, many concepts of peace. In fact, when I travel, this is what comes out. People have an idea of peace. To some people, peace is merely absence of war. To some people, peace is prosperity. Peace is this, peace is that. But what I try to address is the fundamental peace that resides within every single human being. That peace is an inner experience, not an outside experience, but it's an inner feeling that every human being already has. It is not something that needs to be created. It is not something that needs to be defined. It is not something that needs to be invented. You know, Socrates said a long time ago, know thyself. He could have said anything, you know. He could have said, stop making wars. He could have said, just make a lot of money in your life, or, you know, don't say much. You know, some people think being quiet, not uttering a single word. He could have said, just shut up. Or he could have said, go live on top of a mountain. But he didn't say those things. The message that has echoed for centuries has been what you are looking for is inside of you. And if you're looking for peace, believe me, you won't find it anywhere else. You will find it within your own being.
Does peace have relevance to all people, or is that some people are just not interested in peace or cannot be reached by peace?
It's like this. If you come from a really cold climate to slightly warmer climate, and there's another person who comes from a really warm climate to slightly cooler climate, those two people meet in one place. One person is going to say, boy, it's warm. Another person is going to say, boy, it's cold. Because it depends where they come from. So far, we're trying to define peace as something on the outside. Then there are going to be people that are going to say, I don't need that kind of peace. But if we're looking at the peace that is inside of every human being, these questions do not arise because it's fundamental. There are so many cuisines in this world. You have Indian cuisine, you have Chinese, you have Japanese, you have European, you have so many cuisines. But what is the fundamental thing behind each one of these foods, behind each one of these cuisines? It's hunger. Now, does hunger have a language? No. Does hunger have a nationality? No. Does hunger have a time? No. Hunger is hunger. If you feel hungry, you need to eat. And it's the same way. Even so far that we are looking at peace as an external thing. Yes, likes, dislikes, I don't like that flavor of peace, I want this flavor of peace. But if you're hungry, and you're hungry for that peace that is inside of you, then all these barriers go away. And you see only the reality of peace, not the concept of the reality of peace. And that's important, very important to recognize.
For many people today, peace seems to be a boring subject. Can this perspective be changed?
Of course, because they're coming from a concept of what peace is. They're not coming from the need. They have to feel the need. What is the value of water? Well, if you're not thirsty, not much. But if you're thirsty in the middle of the desert, if somebody came to you, if you're dying of thirst in the middle of the desert and say, if you have $100,000, I will give you a cup of water. Sure. You're sitting in a restaurant in New York, there's water everywhere, and somebody comes to you, I'll give you a cup of water for 100,000. No, I don't want it because...
Depends on circumstance.
Depends on the thirst.
On the thirst.
On the thirst. And if there is no thirst, nobody understands what peace is.
There is no value.
There's no value, there's no understanding, there's no reason to try to look at it in the realistic way. But this is what I say to people, and this is where my message is so different, that peace is fundamental to human beings. You have to discover it within you. The thirst for peace is within you, and the peace is within you. And for a lot of people, it's an environment, it's a circumstance, it's a definition. But for me, it's something innate inside every single human being.
Okay. You use a lot of stories and sense of humor in your TV show, and this is one of the reasons I really enjoy it. Could you give us some examples of these real stories that reach people?
Yes. I mean, one story, and in this day and age, it's not specifically about a certain group of people or a certain individual, but just trying to reflect upon our silliness, how silly we can sometimes be. And one of the stories that I give is, once upon a time, there was this kingdom. And in this kingdom, the king heard a message one day that a man far away from his capital, had discovered a way to live forever. So now the king was, I have to know this way to live forever. So he called his ambassador and he said, now I want you to go to this person and learn the way to live forever. And please don't delay. Leave now. Well, the ambassador said, okay, I'll leave. So he went home, he packed, and he left. And the king is waiting, because he wants to live forever. So he's waiting for the ambassador, and 2 days later, the ambassador comes back and says, King, I have very bad news. As soon as I got there, the man who had figured a way to live forever had died. And the king was furious. You delayed. If you would have reached there in time, this man would have been alive. You could have learned the way to live forever. You could come back. You could have taught me the way to live forever. And I would have been able to live forever. Now, when you hear that story, it's like, but it's so real. Because people don't understand that if this man truly had figured out a way to live forever,
He wouldn't die.
he wouldn't die.
For sure.
But the king didn't look at that obviousness. To the king, it was like, you delayed. And so, there was big discussion about if he wouldn't have delayed, whose fault it is, and everything else. Finally, a wise man was walking by, heard the commotion, came in, said, why are you fighting with each other? And so when the story was explained, he said, isn't it obvious to you? But this is what we go through. We don't look at the obvious in our lives. We don't look at the obvious. Do we have a plan for a lifetime? Or only for tomorrow? Tomorrow doesn't come. Tomorrow never comes. Only today comes. Tomorrow doesn't come. But we have a plan for tomorrow and no plan for today. What is our plan for today? What is the plan for a lifetime? You're going to live a lifetime. What is a lifetime? Not that big. If you live to be 100 years old, that's only 36,500 days. Not 360,000, only 36,500 days. Do you have a plan for 36,500 days? What do you want to accomplish in your lifetime? In your lifetime. Not one day, not 5 years, not 15 years, not 20 years, in your lifetime. And I am saying to people, look at the obviousness. You're alive, and you have the opportunity, because you have a life, to accomplish something. Make it beautiful. And nothing, in my opinion, at least, is more beautiful than peace. When a human being is in peace, they are exquisitely beautiful. Exquisitely beautiful. When does a horse look beautiful? When it's running, when it's doing, when it's free, when it's showing its beauty. We need to do the same thing. If a horse can do it, we can do it.
Okay. We need to look for being in our best way.
Best way to be in peace.
Okay, I heard you say that there are 7 billion reasons for peace. Could you explain it for us?
Yes. Because everywhere I would go, people would tell me why there cannot be peace. So one day I was speaking and I said, listen, you may have 4 reasons, you may have 5 reasons, you may have 10 reasons, and if there's 200 people here, maybe you have 200 reasons why you cannot have peace. But I have 7 billion reasons, because that is the population of this earth. 7 billion at this point in time. 7
By
billion
now.
by now, yes. At this point in time, it's 7 billion. I have 7 billion reasons for peace because all those people out there, they do want peace in their lives.
And what do you see as the main obstacles to peace?
Just people's own ideas. It's just people's own ideas. You know, there was once an elephant going down the road. So the man who was steering the elephant, driving the elephant, he saw that there were 4 people coming towards him. And he realized that they could not see. So he told them, hey, be careful, move out of the way, there is an elephant coming. So immediately when they heard the word elephant, they said, stop, stop, stop. We don't know what an elephant is. We have heard in our life what an elephant is, but we don't know what an elephant is. Could you stop your elephant? We would like to feel the elephant and find out for ourselves what an elephant is. So the man obliged. He stopped his elephant. So one person who could not see came and touched the trunk. The nose, the trunk. Stop. Okay, now I know what an elephant is. Second one grabbed the ear and he flapped it around. Thank you, now I know what an elephant is. Third one reached for the foot, feels the foot. Okay, now I know what the elephant is. The last one goes to the tail and feels the tail, the hair at the end. It goes, okay, now I know what an elephant is. Thank you very much. The elephant went on its way, and these people started walking again and said, oh my God, I never realized that elephant was like a big, thick branch of a tree. The one that had felt the trunk. The other one said, no, you're wrong.
Elephant's another thing.
Elephant is like a banana leaf, the one who had taken the ear. It's like a banana leaf. I said, no, you are wrong. The elephant is like a big end of a tree because he had felt the foot. And the other one said, no, the elephant is like a thin little branch with hair at the end, the one that had felt the tail. And they kept discussing and discussing and discussing and discussing. Of course, this is not going to reach any conclusion because they are all correct. But none of them realize what it really is. This is what happens in this world. People are lost in definition of peace and nobody is pursuing the peace. You need to feel the peace to understand what peace is, not try to come up with a better definition. If I try to come up with a better definition, I could. But I also know it would be pointless. Because when you are thirsty, you need water, not an explanation of water. When you are hungry, you need food, not explanation of food. And this is what the world needs to understand. And all those people who have the different ideas. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying they're right. I'm just saying they need to go beyond it and feel that peace for themselves.
How do you feel about is there still sense of hope and optimism in a world full of conflicts, in a world with terrible things? How can we make optimism and hope survive instead of conflicts?
Well, what is a conflict? You see, conflict does not begin on the outside. Conflict begins inside. The war begins in the minds of human beings. And then you see the outside expression. And what is the outside expression? Innocent people die, destruction, lives and families ruined, prosperity gone. All the things that we don't want becomes the outside expression of the conflict that is inside the human beings. First thing. we have to learn how to respect. Respect who? First, you have to learn how to respect yourself. Now, most people think respect is good manners. Oh, hello, how are you? Thank you very much. Smile, this and that. That's just manners. Good manners. There's nothing wrong with good manners. But respect is different. It's more than just manners. And that respect has to begin with you. When you respect yourself, then you can respect other fellow human beings. Right now, people are ready to kill each other because of difference of opinion. You believe in this, I believe in this. I don't like you, I'm going to kill you. Well, what is the point of your belief if it is destroying other human beings? What is the point of having something that promotes conflict when just as easily inside of you resides peace? You know, is darkness truly far away from light or light far away from darkness? No, it's like one coin. One side is darkness, other side is light. Which one are we picking? There is so much greed in this world, so much greed, that for the fulfillment of one's own wishes, we are very open and ready to destroy other people. Look at what happens in this world. So many people go hungry. And what do we blame it on? We blame it on karma. We blame it on the stars. We blame it on this and that. But do you know, this is from the Institute of Mechanical Engineers. They figure that half the production of food in this world is wasted, thrown away. 1.2 billion tons of food is wasted. Nobody is saying, why are we wasting the food? We're human. We are more interested in trying to find other people.
Find a guilt.
No, but find other people out in the outer space. When the reality of it is we have been looking for people in the outer space and haven't found any. We are here on this planet. There's nobody else around for a long, long time. I'm not saying there isn't anybody out there, but for a long, long time of space, there's nobody there. We're the only ones. We truly need to learn how to be with our neighbor, how to be with ourselves, how to be with our family. Conflict doesn't just happen between borders. Conflicts can happen inside a house. Conflicts can happen inside a town. Conflicts can happen inside a country. And so the source of the conflict is from inside, and the resolution to the conflict is also on the inside.
Well, and in this process, there are critics that do not accept that peace is possible. What do you say to them?
Well, I know there are people who absolutely peace is not possible. And I say to them, okay, so you say peace is not possible. I say peace is possible. What do you want to try? What do you want to try? Somebody comes to you and you are hungry and says, I have no food. And the other one says, I do. Who are you going to go to? Give it a chance. It is easy to be a critic. It is easy to say no. It takes a lot of courage to say yes. And peace is not a magic wand. Peace is a little bit of effort by everybody on this face of this earth. Do those people who are poor, living in a village, do they want peace? Yes, they want peace. The farmers want peace. You know, the potterers want peace. The tailors want peace. In fact, children want peace. This is important. I mean, just to be able to say no. I could have said that too.
It's very easy.
Very easy. It takes courage. And people going to the moon. When the first Apollo mission was scheduled to go to the moon, there were a lot of people who said it cannot be done. But there were a few who said it can. And because of those people who said it can, man went to the moon. Not because of the people who said it cannot be done.
Okay. We are talking about thirst, people that are starving, and things like that. Do you see humanitarian work as being more than just feeding people?
Yes, it is bringing, few years back, I was in this place in India called Ranchi, and I saw that the children were extremely poor. I started talking to somebody who knew about that area, and he told me that the children lacked so much food that they were actually stealing the food from the rats. Where the rats store the food, they would dig it up and they would eat. So I said, what can we do for them? So we started and opened up a kitchen facility and give them food. Not just any kind of food, food that they are familiar with, the food that they would like to eat. So we just began the project and the kids started coming. And of course, we didn't want to run it. So we left it to the local
Non-profitable
chiefs.
organization.
No, the local chiefs to say, you run it, we will provide the food, we will provide the facility. Amazing things started to happen. Their health improved. Because now they were having good clean water, good clean food, their health improved. Because of their health, guess what? Just recently, the first child from there completed high school and went on to a university. Education
Yeah.
got better. Okay, what else? The crime rate dropped. Because now people could eat. They didn't have to steal to sell to, then get food. So much started to change. Better health, less crime, more education, better success stories. This is what good, clean food and water can do. And the purpose of the Prem Rawat Foundation is not only to bring the message of peace, but to allow people to have peace, prosperity, and to do this with dignity.
That's what I would like to ask you about the Prem Rawat Foundation that you created, because it seems to be that you really work with the peace message, but you also work with, in a way, to help people with food, water, and things like that. And I would like to know, how does it help your work and your purpose? And I mean the peace purpose. There's a relationship between one thing and another.
Well, for me, from my perspective, I wanted to do this as a humanitarian effort. Look, we can talk about peace till we turn blue in the face, but it is hard to talk to a person about peace if their stomach is growling because of hunger. So I wanted to bring some self-sufficiency to the people. So we started this, but I can see that until the fundamentals are taken care of, the basics are taken care of, it is going to be hard for people to accept peace. Not that peace has to come from outside. The peace I'm talking about comes from inside them. But at the same token, it becomes difficult. But as they grow and they become successful members of the society, they can play a big role, a huge role in bringing peace to themselves and their communities. So, yes, two are interlinked. But for me, when I started with these projects, it was purely a humanitarian thing. And as I've been watching, because now we have one in Ghana, Africa, we have one in Dhading, Nepal, and we're going to be opening other ones. And as I watch this unfold, I see what that does to a community, that it is not a very complicated formula, you know. And people, and this is what I always say, it is peace, prosperity. We need prosperity, but prosperity without peace is disaster. Because this is what we have right now. We have a lot of prosperity, but no peace. Not working. Peace, then prosperity. And to do this with a lot of dignity. Not trying to convert people, not trying to change people.
Accepting them.
Accepting them, accepting their beliefs, accepting all of what they are, and yet bringing them the message of peace and bringing them the possibility of prosperity.
Mr. Prem Howard, can world leaders really make a difference to peace in the world? And how do you think your message can impact them? Because we know that you are always in very big conferences all over the world. Recently, you were talking to people in the Italian Senate and in Rome and things like that. And I would like to know, how can your message impact global leaders?
Well, I must first of all apologize to a lot of the leaders because I have met a lot of leaders and they're beautiful people and they want peace in their lives too. It's not like that they become leaders and they become different. But I also know that peace will come from every single human being. That global leaders can help by putting ends to the conflicts, by not perpetuating the conflicts, not perpetuating the wars, but helping people understand prosperity and to give people the dignity that they deserve. But peace is within human beings. They need to discover it. They need to explore it. They need to feel it. And if we keep relying on world leaders to bring peace, I'm afraid that is going to be not anytime soon. But if we rely on ourselves as the citizens of the earth, that every single human being has the right to feel peace. It's a fundamental right to feel peace. That if we take that approach, then there can be peace on this earth.
There are many fundamental rights, such as healthy, education, culture, but many times people don't say that communication, a very good communication, is also a right. And peace is also another right. And I'd like to talk to you about this. We are talking to many local TV channels. And I had a national organization that really thinks that we have a mission, and we really think that media, communication is also a right from common people. That's why we are very honored in receiving your message in our TV channels, because we want to have things that make good to people, like your message. And I'd like to know, what do you think? What's the importance for these small local TV channels distributing words of peace?
First of all, I cannot say enough about this because this is so fundamentally important. and the service that they are doing, what they do, because I very strongly believe information is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Power is freedom. This link, that information is power, knowledge, and it can set people free. Because anytime you look in history, when the kings, you wanted to suppress the people, what they did is they stopped informing them. No information, no knowledge, no power, no freedom.
Dictators do that.
Absolutely, and this is the main thing. Those little TV channels have the reach and the passion to bring that information to people, which brings them knowledge, which brings them the power that they need to feel and have the freedom that they fundamentally deserve.
I know that your message arrive to people by TV, by radio, by internet, but there is a educational program for peace in areas like neighborhoods, little societies that need to listen words of peace. And I would like to hear something about a very special community, the prisoners. Normally, people don't matter about prisoners. They are in prison. But you care about them.
I do.
How is your work with people that live in prison? And for sure, if they are in prison, they hadn't a peaceful life.
Well, this is what's very, very interesting. Because this is exactly what you would think. Oh, they're in prison, what hope do they have? But we have a beautiful peace education program, and we have taken it to prisons, and I go to prisons and visit people in prisons and speak to them. And I can tell you that maybe they have done something wrong in their life and that's why they are in prison. But that doesn't mean that they are not a human being. And they need hope too. And are they capable of feeling peace? Yes, they are. Are they willing to see hope? Because otherwise, what's going to happen? Sooner or later, they're going to be released, they commit the crime again, and they're back in prison. The Peace Education Program is really a wonderful program, and it's not only just for prisons, but it is going to libraries, it is going to people's retired homes. It is for really everyone who is interested in peace. And I just hope that that peace education program keeps expanding and expanding and expanding, because everyone who comes across it can truly benefit from it. In San Antonio prison in Texas, one of the things that the officials noted, that people who were going through the peace education program had the lowest rate of return. They were not coming back to prison. They were very impressed with what's going on here. And everywhere, I've been to prisons in South Africa, in Zonderwater. I've been to prison in Argentina. I've been to prison in San Antonio. And when I go there, I see people. You know, it is between the judge and them and the lawyers to figure out who did what wrong and how much punishment they're going to get. But I am there as a human being talking to another human being, bringing the message of hope, bringing the message of peace, because they need to feel this too. And this is what people say. If I would have only heard this message before, I would not be in the prison today. And there are prisoners who want their families to hear the message because they know that their children are taking the same path as them, and they want to break the cycle. We're human beings. We've got to help each other. Who else is going to help us? You know, it's us who have to help each other to realize our potential. All of us. All of us. And all of us have to work in bringing the message of peace and making the peace possible. I am not taking any contract that it is my responsibility to bring peace. No, I am just playing a small part. Everybody has to play their part. Then peace will come.
As we know, you are working through many decades, trying to bring peace to people, trying to make people find the peace that's inside themselves. And with your humanitarian work with people that are in prison and things like that, you got some recognitions, you got some awards. Recently, you received an award recognition that was given to Nelson Mandela and Hillary Clinton. And I would like to know, how do you feel receiving this recognition, this kind of awards, and how does it help your work?
Well, I don't see that the awards are just for me. I see that they are recognizing the involvement and the efforts of everyone who is interested on peace, who is interested in having peace on this earth. This is what I see it as. Yes, they may have my name on it, but I really see that that is a recognition of all those people who want peace. Not the critics who say, no, 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 there can never be peace, but it is someone in a beautiful position recognizing the efforts and works of all of us around the world, whoever you are, wherever you are, that you are interested in peace. And that's what's going to make a difference. And the way it helps is that people have a greater understanding, a greater knowledge that there are people on the face of this earth who are genuinely working to bring peace. This is very, very important. Not some concept, not some idea, not some theory, not another book, please, but genuinely hands-on working and are interested in bringing peace on this earth.
São Paulo, where we are recording this wonderful interview, and personally for me it's an historical interview. It's a very complicated area talking about conflicts. Some people say that's safer to live in Baghdad than living in São Paulo. Well, anyway, you received a title as the Ambassador of Peace from Unipaz, University of Paz, University of Peace, Unipaz. And you also received a citizenship title from this city. I would like to know, why do you think that people that live in a city with so many problems, with conflicts, why are them receiving so well your words of peace?
Well, I think when this message touches the heart, and this is very, very different. It is very easy to touch a person's mind. It is very difficult to touch a person's heart. But when a person's heart is touched, a beautiful reality starts to take place. When it hasn't rained for a long time and the first rain begins, there's an incredible smell, a beautiful perfume. It is the smell of the earth absorbing that water. Now, you can actually, and definitely in India, you can actually buy this perfume. But to smell it in real,
Different.
is completely different. And the same thing when the heart gets touched. This is not about theory. I'm so thankful to the people who gave me the Unipaz, who gave me the Ambassador of Peace. Every time I go out there, try to talk to people, I try to uphold the standard of what they have given me. Be the Ambassador of Peace. And I would like to see nothing more than the 7 billion people on the face of this earth to be also be the ambassador of peace. Each one.
Okay. During the last years, the TV program has received a lot of testimonials from people that were reached by your message. I can tell you the history of a very important person. He was a professor in Guarulhos. Guarulhos is the main city from Great São Paulo. When you arrive in Brazil, usually you arrive in Rio de Janeiro or Guarulhos. And this professor got ill. He got cancer, and he was desperate with all his family. I could see that. And there was a time he was watching to our local TV channel, and he called me and said, Fernando, I was watching to your TV and I could watch a very different TV program called Words of Peace. And please, I would like to ask you for all the DVDs that you have from this TV program. Could you please record them for me? Because I would like to have these words available, not just at the TV time, but any time I need. Okay, I gave him the TV programs as a gift, and he started to watch them with all his family, and he got better accepting his problem, and he got in peace. So he died, and his wife said to me some years later, Fernando, that TV program was so important to my husband and to our family to get peace that I don't know how we would take our lives without this message. I would like to know, how do you feel about receiving this kind of words? And I know there are many all over the world, people that say, your words could save me. Your message, not you, but your message could save me. So I would like to know, how do you feel about your responsibility in giving these people a so powerful message that can touch a man that is ill and all his family? How do you feel about this?
That's what I live for. That's what I live for. This is the greatest honor in my life, that I can make a difference in another human being's life. From my heart comes this message to their heart. And up till I can do it, I will continue. This is what I have been doing since I was 9 years old. And I hope to do it till the last breath. Because to me, there is no greater honor to bring even a moment's relief, a moment's joy, a moment's understanding in one's life.
Well, we are here celebrating 10 years of this so special TV program in South America, especially here in Brazil. And I would like to know, what's your vision to the next 10 years from now?
More and more and more of this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful expression of peace, of joy, that being alive does not have to be painful, that it is the most beautiful thing that can be celebrated. That the breath comes into me, the breath comes into you, and that is the most direct gift of the Creator. Every time you are touched, the same power that keeps this universe and all the universes intact just came and touched you too, in the expression of the coming of this breath, in the expression of coming of this day, in the expression of coming of the understanding, in the expression of coming of the clarity, in the profound, most profound expression, the expression of peace.
Mr. Prem Howard, thank you very much for your words of peace today and this interview. It was very nice to hear your opinions about all this peace process that you are heading all over the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.